My name is Paromitra Vohra. I'm a documentary filmmaker, scriptwriter and writer. I write a column on love in contemporary India and an opinion column in other papers. Very interested in ideas of love, desire and intimacy, feminism. A fact that not many people know about me though was that I played the character Auntie 303 in the Channel V promos that were made in the 90s. The thing about wearing many hats is that the head is still the same, right? And hats are just a very pleasing accessory. You're really trying to say the same thing in different ways. I do many different types of things because I enjoy many different forms, and I feel that we should express ourselves as often as we can in as many ways as we can, and not become so like, oh, I'm just a writer, it's just my profession, like being a banker. Artists express themselves as they can. We live in a really exciting time when the digital world is allowing us to be many things at the same time. So I think we should fully experience all those pleasures. I have a fantasy that I like writing early in the morning. When I get up early in the morning, I write really well and I write really fast. The thing about me as a writer that is known to all editors is that I'm always very late. I'm always on time, but I'm on time like just at the last second I squeeze in. And I guess like many other people, I write best under pressure. I find it very difficult to write if my editors don't love me. So I write well when I think that people like what I'm talking about and I have a relationship with the audience or the editor or someone I'm speaking to. I think in that way I'm very Indian, that I find it difficult to communicate unless I have someone to communicate with. You know? So that's maybe a good and bad thing about me as a writer. I like Facebook more than Twitter, honestly, because I think there's a kind of warm visual quality to Facebook which suits my personality more. I think Twitter is for like the really cool kids in the class. You know, you have to be very clever, you have to be very quick, and I'm not a cool kid, I never was. For example, I just made a map of India with all the different words for kiss in all the different Indian languages because today is Kiss Day, and I sourced about 90% of the words from Facebook. And on Twitter, everybody retweeted my question, but only one person answered it. So I somehow feel that Facebook is a better community, but I know that I'm in a minority and people like Twitter a lot. And I'm sure it has certain uses that I have not fully understood. I'm working on a project, which the working title of which is the Sex Project. And basically it's a project that will do a lot of multimedia work around the idea of sex and intimacy, but positive kinds of things, experiential things, not lectures, not morality. And it's going to be all completely internet-based. And I'm writing a book on love in contemporary India. Everything is digital right now, you know. Every few decades or whatever, hundreds of years, there is a new kind of technology that arrives and becomes a defining technology of the moment. So, I mean, when print technology came, it was a new thing and everybody began writing books as opposed to before when it was an oral tradition, right? And when you begin writing books down, the manner in which you write starts to change. So I think like, yes, the digital world makes a lot of new forms possible. It also keeps a lot of old forms alive. It's simply a new thing like everything else. It's not a special category. Everything is digital. We should stop calling it digital. It's just the way things are now, you know. And it's really very enjoyable, I feel. It allows a lot more people to do a lot more things. It allows you to do things which even you, like I could do, make a film, write a book, but I can do little pictographic things on the internet which have a short time use, but they're also expressive. And I think it makes artists of us all in a different way and should be celebrated. Writing about sex is a bit more accepted now than before. But really the question is, how do we write about sex, you know? So right now, sex is still falling into that special category thing and is not really so experiential. So on the one hand, you have porn. On the other hand, you have a very limited amount of erotica that's being written. And in the middle, you have hardly any sex as part of discussion, stories. Now, sexual experience is very wide, you know. It's not only in the realm of eroticism or pornography, but it is in the realm of defining who we are as people at some level. Whoever I am, it's determined through my sex life and also expressed through my sex life, right? So being able to speak about sex as if it is part of our personalities and part of the world around us, learning something about ourselves via sex, just happen enough. And I think that's something we really need to push for and celebrate a bit more, be able to talk about it as we talk about many other things, and yet for its own special qualities maybe. So the thing is, if you're an artist, you know, I feel that you can't be too careerist minded. So my tips will be really bad. I think it's very good to play to your own strengths. You have become an artist because you want to do a certain thing. You want to express yourself a certain way. You really can't be falling into this kind of trap of, oh, well, will it do well? Will it not do well? Will I succeed? Then you should not be an artist if you think like that. So you have to rid yourself of the pressure of the market. I do believe that if you do the things you're really good at and you really learn and keep refining and improving the thing that you're good at, you will find an audience, you will find a market. That market may not be Chetan Bhagat's market, it may not even be Amitav Ghosh's market, but it will be your market. You will make a new market. So you should have that belief in yourself, and that is the main tip I can give to anybody. The other thing I would also say is to have a lot of pride in work. You know, it's very easy to say I'm an artist and I need to express myself, but working hard is part of being an artist. Like working hard at your work, taking it seriously, applying yourself to it, being very self-critical, yet holding on to your own self. I think an artist has to have a lot of humility and a lot of ego, and somehow you have to find like a sweet spot in between which lets you do your work.